Greetings gamers, LTK here with my first in what'll hopefully be a series of videos on various tabletop games. We're going to start off with one of my favorite solo games of all time, D100 Dungeon. When I first heard about D100 Dungeon, I had two major misgivings. One is that it takes an entire book. Most of the solo games that I've played are limited in scope and only need a couple pages of rules at most, so having an entire book of rules for just one single solo game, it seemed like a bit much. The other issue was that there was a price tag attached to it. Now, the first issue, namely how daunting the game looks, was resolved by the fact that there are really not that many rules to learn. It's sort of like building a character in any other role-playing game. You know, you get down your starting stats and your equipment, then you take a quick rundown on the basics like exploring and combat, and off you go. The vast majority of the book is just tons and tons of D100 tables that you roll on to generate the world around you as your character begins adventuring. Now, the second issue was the cost, and that was easily resolved in the fact that there's a free-to-download printable book of D100 Dungeon called version 2.2. This version is a full game, and it's free, complete with character generation and quests, and you could play D100 Dungeon with nothing but that free book for many hours of challenge and entertainment, and I did, and it was awesome. But if I may recommend to anyone thinking about playing this game, get the free version, create a character, go through the first 5 dungeon training quests, and it will take you a while, and by the time you're done with that, you'll know if you want to keep playing this game. Trust me, it's worth the free price to at least get that far, and you can, if you desire, just keep playing through the many available quests in 2.2. However, the D100 Dungeon version 3 core rulebook is a whole new beast. The whole reason, to me, that this game is one of the greatest run solo games of all time, The Adventurer's Companion. Now, this is the second book that you should get because it's what brings a whole new depth of meaning to the game. The whole point of this game, in my opinion, is the art of campaign play. The bulk of The Adventurer's Companion is a 20 quest plus 25 side quest story campaign called The Goblin and the Goblet, and it is genius. You generate a character, get them trained and equipped with either the 5 starting quests or the fast track option, and then you start reading page 1 of The Goblin and the Goblet. It's intense, it's dramatic. It's like if you took one of those older solo gamebook series like Lone Wolf or Fighting Fantasy and made it like 100 times more involved with seemingly infinite choices and paths that you can take at every turn. This campaign got me so hooked on this game that when I finally finished after my many combined hours of play, I immediately filed my character away into retirement, generated a whole new character from scratch, and started it again. Now I'm playing through the second campaign that's in the next book called The Dragon's Return. I'm not even going to get into that right now because, again, whole new level of play. I might go into more detail on The Dragon's Return and the previous books that I mentioned in a later video, but for now, I'll just say that if you get D100 Dungeon version 3 and The Adventurer's Companion, and you finish the Goblin and the Goblet campaign, there's a fair chance you will think that your character is some kind of overpowered god tier. Nay. Don't go into retirement just yet. Dragon's Return is going to teach you the meaning of pain. Final note, before I take off, house rules are so fun to create and adjust, so long as you're not, ruining the challenge. Never make a house rule that gives you a clear advantage over the core rules. Most of the house rules that I've made actually make the game harder, but for good reason. I've created a critical failure table for combat, a barter and trade system if you meet a treasure hunter in the dungeon. I've eliminated the ability to stack those plus 20 fate potions. I mean, you want extra cool loot, fine, drink a potion, but any more than one, you're going to make yourself sick. That's totally what I should do. Like, you can stack fate potions, but you'll make yourself sick. Poison or disease pips, maybe hit point loss, something like that. Oh man. All right, I gotta go. This is good stuff. But tell me what you think. Have you played D100 Dungeon? How was your experience with it? Similarities, differences, any cool house rules that you like to use? Or do you want to know mine? Do you want more content on this? Are you interested in it, but still not sure if it's right for you? Let me know. Let's talk more later.